Okay, today I'm at my local commercial. It didn't open until 1st of March, and normally at this time of the year I would be back at the river, but having suffered greatly last time when I slipped on the riverbank with my back, and my back is still very dodgy, I decided that perhaps a better idea today was to come here. It's very quiet, there's only 3 other cars in the car park. Normally it's a holiday venue, but that isn't going to reopen until the 12th of April, so at the moment it's quite quiet. Anyway, I've set up in a spot here, which was the very first swim I fished when I came here back in 2006. And in 2006 it was quite a different lake really, because the holiday facilities, they did exist, but they were very basic. There was just one small field for touring caravans and motorhomes, so 10 people at the most, or 10 groups at the most could stay here. But now there is another big field, a couple of fields I think, for caravans, and he's just created a new lake with bankside pitches for caravans. And in 2006, in fact, when I first started fishing here, this pit's been here since 1980, and it's a fairly mature pit, that's why I like it. But when I came here in 2006, he dug out the second lake here, which is behind me, which is called the Pool, which is very much like a classic commercial. It's just, as some people would say, a carp puddle. But it's stacked with fish, and if you really want to catch fish, that's where to go. But today I'm going to fish here because I like it. There are some very big carp in here, and I'm hoping they don't actually turn up today, because I've got my 14-foot match rod and I'm fishing hopefully for roach. Give the carp a rest. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I'm just about to set up, and or just about to cast out. As you can hear, the Canada geese, they come here every year to breed, and they're making quite a racket. So anyway, let's get started, shall we? There's a bit of a westerly breeze today. It's not too bad temperature wise. It has been very cold, but today it's not too bad. And got my hook caught on my coat. I've actually taken my coat off because I was quite warm. Yeah, I've come in this corner because the wind's blowing into this bank, which is usually a good sign. It's best to fish where the wind's blowing. But this little spot here is reasonably sheltered, particularly as I'm only going to fish just off the margin. So let's see how we go. As I say, I'm still a bit robotic here with my back, and I'm hoping that fishing here, sitting still most of the time, will be a much safer bet than clambering about on the riverbank. So let's see how we go. Today I brought hemp seed, which is a bait, to be honest, I haven't used since I was a kid, and earlier on I introduced a couple of small handfuls of hemp into the left and the right margin. And for the hook I've bought sweet corn. I've caught roach here on sweet corn before. Couldn't get any maggots because the shop isn't open today. They won't open now until the holiday venue gets going. So I had a sweet corn or nothing today. I bought a little bit of old bread, and I also bought my cheese paste, which fundamentally is what I use on the rivers, but I stuck it in. You never know. There's good tension here. There are barbel in here, and they apparently have been caught to £9. I caught one a couple of years or so ago. Not as big as that, but it was, I think it was about £7, which wasn't bad. There are big carp in here. Even when I was fishing it back in 2006, the biggest carp that had been taken out was a 27-pound fish. So assuming some of those fish are still in here, there could be some quite whoppers in here. But the thing is though, the fishing has changed. When I first came here, it was only locals predominantly anyway, and the fish, I could come to a spot like this, and I'd usually arrive a bit earlier than I have done today. I was struggling a bit this morning as usual to get ready and everything, but I'd come early when it opened, which was 7 o'clock, and I'd drop out a piece of bread flake on just a free line, just drop it down there by the reeds, and it was almost guaranteed that within minutes the line would start zipping across the surface, and it would either be a carp, possibly a small carp, but or it would be a tench, and I caught quite a lot of tench out of here. But nowadays, the last few times I've fished it, I've not seen a tench. I've caught carp, as you would expect from a place like this, and there are crucian carp in here. There's some lovely crucian carp, but it's a bit difficult to pick those out sometimes, and the problem is you're fishing heavy enough to deal with the carp should they turn up, and fishing that heavy is not a good recipe for a crucian carp. You go light for crucian carp, and then you're fishing sort of bread or whatever for crucian carp, and then a 10-pound carp takes it, and all hell breaks loose. So anyway, so we'll sit here peaceably today. I may not catch anything, but it's relaxing. It's quite a nice day, as you can see, although the forecast says it's going to cloud over a bit later. But importantly, I'm not clambering around up and down banks. I'm just sitting here, and let's hope that will allow me to survive a bit longer without doing myself a mischief. Anyway, nothing's happened immediately, so I'll probably stop the video at this point and try and flick it on again if we start getting some action. Well, my worst fear has been realised, I think. I was getting little touches on the rod top, and on the float, and I thought they were roach, but this is no roach. This is something somewhat bigger, and I'm not sure I'm going to get him in. I'm on very light tackle, but here we go. This is what happens when you fish in a carp lake. It's probably not as big as it feels, it's just I ain't got the tackle to do anything with it. Yeah. I'm going to have to leave him out there, whatever he is, because if I try and bring him in here, he's got all these reeds, and he's just going to plough into the reeds, and I'm not going to stand a chance. So we just have to hope that, being it's early in the season, it's a bit cold, and the fish at this time of year aren't quite as active as they are in the summer. And let's hope that I will be able to tire him out, or her out, whatever it might be, and get it in. But as I say, I really wanted a roach. One single tiny piece of sweet corn, and this is what we get. Let's take this ratchet off this reel, it's driving me crackers. Although it does give an indication of when the line's going out. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't know, there's about 3 or 4 chaps on the other bank. They're all casting out there with their feeders and God knows what after carp, and there's me sitting here fishing for roach, and I think it may not be a carp, it could be a tench. I mean, say on this tackle, anything of any size is going to prove to be an issue. But as I say, if I can let it tire itself out there, then hopefully when we get it nearer the bank, it won't be so active. Haven't seen anything of it yet, so I've only got a tiny 16 hook on as well, so the hook hold's not going to actually be fantastic, but barbless 16 spade end, oh my god. Great fun. I'm going to have a tired arm after this. As I say, the only thing is, at this time of the year, the fish don't do these phenomenal summertime runs. They tend to be fairly lethargic. There's power there, but there isn't the explosive sort of reaction that you get in the summer. In the summer, this thing would have just gone ploughing into the reeds, and I wouldn't have seen anything of it. But, this is a bit of a repeat performance, really, because many years ago I was fishing this spot, light tackle like this, and I managed to get a very big carp in. But there's an awful lot of luck involved when you're dealing with a big fish on light float tackle. It's, I haven't even seen anything of it yet. I don't know what it is, how big it is. As I say, it may only be about 4 or 5 pounds, but when you've got no armoury against it and you're just having to coax it in, it's a bit of a challenge. The annoying thing is, you know, you could go through this for 5 or 10 minutes and then the thing will come off and you never know what you've lost. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. Fortunately, this rod it's a 14-foot Shimano match. I bought it years ago, and I bought it for fishing the drains, these canal things around here in the fens, and I never thought of using it over here, but it's got a lot of flex in it, obviously being a match rod, so even on a light line you do get a lot of protection from the line being snapped, because the rod takes so much of it. But obviously it isn't an all-through action, so you've got to be careful, because it don't just keep bending it. It's only the top third, really. Third, top half, perhaps. Well, we saw the float then, so this is an encouraging sign. As I say, what worries me most is getting it in near the side, and then these reeds, if it's not as lethargic as I think it is, it's going to spot those reeds, and that will be the end of everything. But because I won't be able to power it out. Interesting, in the summer, if I'd hooked that fish in the summer where I hooked it just down there by the reeds, without a doubt it would have ploughed straight into the reeds. But it's quite odd that in the autumn and spring, often these fish run out rather than run into the reeds. I don't know why they do that, but it's very fortunate. Yeah. Well, we still haven't seen the thing. We just had a little glimpse of the float a little while ago. As I say, I can't muscle it at all. It's just pointless. I've just got to let it tire itself out, and hopefully, being colder weather and colder water, hasn't got as much energy as it would have in the summer when it's eating a lot and its blood's a lot warmer. So yeah, but this isn't the plan. You know, this isn't the plan. The plan is roach. I've caught roach to about £1.25 pounds here, and I thought, a nice day trying to catch some roach. As I say, this is not the plan. Unfortunately, with fishing, that's what it's all about. You watch that float go under, and it can be anything. Even if you approach things in a way that you expect to catch something different, you never actually know what you're going to catch. Yeah, I'm not making much impression here. He's really not any further in than he was when we started. But, let's hope. This is promising. We can see the float now for a little while, anyway. Oh well. As I say, this could end up to be a big disappointment if this fish gets lost and you spend all this time thinking, what have I got here? And there's a temptation here to to sort of try harder, but I've got to resist it because I really haven't got the strength in the tackle to force this fish in. One small grain of sweet corn, that's all it took. If it takes too long, the battery's going to run out on my flipping camera. Ah, this could be it. We could see what we're up against. Actually, the way that swirled, it could be quite a good fish. It could be quite a big fish. Don't go over there. I do not want you over there. That is not the place to be. Please do not go over there. You stay out in the middle. You've probably noticed that I'm a bit of a fan of centre pins, especially for float fishing. This is a Rapidex. I bought it a few years ago, second hand. But I've got a Speedio which I've had since I was a kid. This thing could be foul hooked. This thing could be foul hooked, which would explain everything. Which would explain everything, because if they're difficult to get in when they're fairly hooked, they're absolutely impossible when they're foul hooked. Well, I think it's getting tired, so let's get this net ready. Alright, come over here, come over here. It's certainly a carp, I saw it as a carp. No, don't you go in there. Ah dear. It was interesting, I was getting knocks on the float and I thought they were sort of line bites, and I thought it might have been just some roach down there after the hemp that I'd thrown in, but obviously it was a blooming carp giving me a line bite, and if it is foul hook, that's explained things, because it's gone up against the line and I've struck, and but if it's foul hooked, it's going to be an absolute challenge, because oh no, he's not, that's good, I do not like foul hooking fish. Right, we're getting there. I think he's starting to get a bit fed up, he's starting to get a little bit tired, I think, so we never know your luck, we may just get away with this. He looked a little bit tired when he came up there. I think if I can just get his head out of the water again, we may be in business. The swim's going to be absolutely dead for an hour after this, I should think. No. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. No. Yeah, that's what I was frightened of. No, I think he's now completely beat. It's just a matter of getting me in the net. Yeah, that is a good fish. On 4 pound line and a match rod, that was a challenge. I'm going to just leave him in the net for a while because he's obviously completely knackered. There is an argument about not using too light a line, because the fish, you have to play them for so long, the fish really do get quite knackered. Yeah, okay. He seems to be okay, so let's see if we can get him out. Now that is a foul fish for float fishing. Ah, gee. Not what was planned, as they say, but very, very welcome. Yeah, the hook is literally just in the corner of the lip. Look at that. Yes. Difficult to get it out, such a... lovely fish. I think I'll try and weigh him in the net because I don't want to fart about taking him out of the... I'll take the net off afterwards. I don't know how much you're getting of this on the video because obviously I'm wobbling my head around here, which is never a good thing to do when you've got a video because everything jumps about. Right, let's see how we go. Right, so we're in the orange sector. So that is 10 3/4 pounds. 10 3/4 pounds, but there's a bit to take off of that because see, around once, around twice, yeah, 10 3/4. Yeah, as I say, there's a bit to take off of that. Right, let's put you back. You deserve to go back. What a beautiful fish. As I say, that was not expected at all. I should have taken him out the net. There we go. Come on, no, don't swim into it. Swim out of it. There we go. There we go. There you go. Off you go, girl. Yeah, sulking a bit. It wasn't your game plan for today, was it, Mr. Carp? I think she'll be alright. Okay, so that was a bit of unexpected excitement. Okay, the carp's still sulking a bit down there, but it's in an upright position. It's not in trouble, but it's obviously didn't expect that to happen to itself. So we got 1.5 pounds there with that wet net. So 10 3/4 minus 1.5, that's 9 3/4, 9 1/4. So 9 1/4 pounds, okay. Right, I'll sort myself out and then we'll start fishing again. Yeah, that was good. Well, it's about 3/4 of an hour, perhaps a bit less since I caught that carp, and I've had a couple of more bites, but they were probably roach or some smaller fish because I didn't connect with either. But I'm just sitting here sort of contemplating how peaceful this is. This lake in the summer, when the holiday sections open, is very, very active. There are people everywhere. Not only people fishing, there are people obviously from the caravans walking around chatting, and it's very rare to be sitting here on what is a lovely day at the moment, in absolute peace and quiet. The other fishermen are on the bank to my right. They all seem to be after carp. They're casting out with feeders. So I'm sitting here all alone in this corner, and quite frankly, it wouldn't matter if I didn't catch another thing, because this is just absolutely perfect. But let's hope we do get some roach, because that was the original quarry. Now we have an aeroplane, so I'll stop talking for a minute. So I stopped talking, the float went under. Absolutely nothing there, so I have a feeling whatever it is obviously isn't a carp. Hope you can hear me above the aeroplane. You get a lot of military planes over here in Cambridgeshire. I haven't looked up to see what it is, but you get military planes which are a bit noisy, and you also get the flyboys in their jets every so often going over at very low level, and quite frankly the noise is actually quite painful. I don't know why they're allowed to fly so close to towns, but there we go. Anyway, as I was just saying, just missed a bite. The float didn't go under with a sort of positive yank, it more or less just slid under, so who knows, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. As I say, this is absolutely perfect. So I'll carry on, and oops, that wasn't very good, and I'll probably turn the video off now, and again, if something happens, I'll flick it back on. Well, this is what I actually came for. Roach. So I missed a couple of bites, but this one I managed to hook. So I think we can probably lift him out. I don't really want to lift him out on my rod top though. He's quite a nice fish actually. Let's put the rod down. So that is encouraging that the roach are there. As I say, there's some quite nice roach in here. This is obviously just a starter, but if we're lucky, we might well get something better. While I'm here, you can see the carp. He's still there. Must be over an hour now since I caught him. But my guess is that he's or she's laying down there because it's shallow water and it's in the sun, and it's probably warming up his body, helping him to recover a bit. So I feel a bit sad really that it's taken so long to recover, but it's obviously stable, and the towel's moving occasionally, so I'll carry on keeping an eye on him. Anyway, first roach, so let's hope we get some more. I really do not like fishing on these platforms because every movement is like banging on a drum. When I first fished here, you can see the remnants of it actually. There was like a timber construct which had been filled in with rubble and then topped off with gravel, and you were sitting on gravel and it was lovely. But it obviously deteriorated over time, and the owner decided to replace all those old platforms, and he decided to use these, which are steel frames and obviously wood with non-slip surface. But I really don't like them because, as I say, any movement makes a noise, and if you're fishing the margins, you really don't want all that sort of noise And sometimes you know it's not so bad here. There's no one near me. The next swim that way is probably about 30 yards, and that way is probably about 10, 15 yards. But sometimes people arrive and they drop their tackle box. The first thing they do is walk down to the platform and drop their tackle box on it, and makes an almighty great thump. And I know commercial lakes probably it don't make a lot of difference because the fish here are so used to so much activity. But as I say, not my favourite way of fishing off platforms, but not much I can do about it. That's the way it is. Well, time for a bit of an update. I haven't caught anything else, so not much of an update really. A couple of more bites that I missed, so I guess they were roach. But I started the video now because the breeze has dropped and everything is very, very calm at the moment, and it's quite a lovely picture. There's something really fascinating about watching a float on a very calm, still piece of water, just waiting for something to happen. Although today there isn't too much happening. But we know there are roach down there because I caught one. And there's probably a few more carp nosing around as well, but I don't particularly want the carp. Yeah, it's lovely here at the moment. I find it a bit odd because it wasn't a big roach, and roach tend to be shoal fish, so I would have expected a bit more action once. I assume the hemp probably brought them into the swim if they weren't already there, and I've been adding a small sort of handful of hemp every so often. And I also added a few loose offerings of sweet corn, only about 4 or 5. Obviously fish are not eating a great deal at this time because it's been very cold. Yeah, but it's quite mesmerising just watching that float, and the great thing about it being so calm is that sometimes you get a little bit of interest before the float actually goes away, and when the breeze, there we go, very, very tentative, very, very tentative. As I was saying, when there's a breeze you don't always spot that first little bit of interest, so there's certainly something had to go there, but it's always difficult to know when they're just investigating when to strike. It's quite a light rig, so there's not a lot of resistance. I think I'll just wait a bit longer. But there was certainly definitely something having a bit of a nose around there. The thing is, you never know if it's a good fish being careful, or a small fish struggling to get the bait in its mouth. So very difficult. The first carp, there had been some knocking on the float, but the first carp, that float seems to be moving. No, I must have been imagining things. Okay. Anyway, that's by way of a little bit of an update. I'll just bait up again and carry on, but I'll save the video for now. Yeah, I only hope that with this sun in my face, the camera's not getting too many reflections. So I'll only know, of course, when I download this video. But let's hope you're getting as good a view as I am. Anyway, I'll come back again if there's anything happening. Well, I just changed to a little tiny bit of cheese paste. as I wasn't getting any more bites, and of course the inevitable's happened. Whereas the corn was attracting the roach, or not many but some, the cheese paste has, I think, found another carp. So I mean to say, it was only the size of a pea. It wasn't as if it was a massive piece of cheese paste, but anyway, doesn't feel quite as heavy as the first one, so perhaps it isn't a carp, perhaps it's a tench or something, I don't know. But anyway, it's pretty big for this tackle. Anyway, I mustn't complain. The whole idea of catching roach doesn't seem to have taken off today. Yeah, you can see it's pulling off line against. I'm putting thumb resistance on the centre pin, which is a nice way of controlling it. That's what I like about the centre pin. I mean, with a fixed pull, you set the clutch and that's it, it's set. But with a centre pin, you can moderate what you're doing. I don't like the way this fish is going to the left. It's not a good place to be. Ah, he's come off. Oh well, that's the trouble when you're fishing with a light tackle. Probably the hook hold gave rather than the hook broke, but let's have a look. Yeah, the hook's still there. Yeah. Didn't feel quite like a carp, that one. I don't know, it's difficult to know. There were barbel in here, there were tench in here. Anyway, we'll never know, it's gone. But, dear. It would have been nice just to see what it is. There's nothing more frustrating. It's bad enough losing a fish, but when you don't actually see what you've lost, it's even doubly frustrating. Anyway, I'll try cheese paste again. It was only out there for about 5 minutes, because I wasn't getting much on the corn. I was getting the odd bite, but I couldn't hook them. They seemed to go away well, but I wasn't touching them. So anyway, we'll try a bit more cheese paste, and maybe there's something else there. I lost him right out in the distance there, so, and he ran, or he or she ran out straight away, so hopefully it hasn't disturbed things too much. Well, it's just coming up to 1:30. I probably got here before 10 this morning. I wasn't particularly early. So I've been here about 3.5 hours. I had one more roach after I lost that fish. Another small roach, about the same as the one I had previously, but the roach certainly don't seem to be feeding in any great way at the moment. So the breeze came up a little while ago, and it was quite tricky to see the float, but fortunately it's eased off a bit now. And I've just put another bit of cheese paste out. So the first time I tried it, I got a bite almost immediately and lost that fish. So, oh, there's another bite by the look of it. So, but the fish I lost took it straight down. There was no messing about. So that was just a dip. But maybe it's something just having a feel around. You never know. Let's just watch, see what happens. Very peaceful here today. Obviously there's a bit of traffic on the road over there, and the bird life is being quite vocal. We've got some ducks, we've got some more hens, we've got the Canada geese that seem to have vanished for now, which is a good thing because they make a terrible racket. And there's a grebe out there somewhere that's been fishing away. Only catching tittlers, of course. But, yeah, sometimes when the float moves like it did a little while ago, I think it may be something brushing the line. And I'm also using split shot. With feeding with hemp, it's quite possible that some small roach are having a nibble at the split shot, I suppose. It's interesting, I haven't, although obviously I've been watching my float, so I haven't been paying close attention, but I haven't actually seen anybody else or heard any fish being landed. I think most of these guys are casting out for carp. I overheard a guy over to the right say he hadn't had anything yet, so it doesn't seem to be particularly active today. But it is still very early. We've had some cold weather. The water's probably still quite cold, even though the air temperatures come up a bit over the last week. Mind you, the forecast for tomorrow is terrible. High winds, wind warning. God dear. We never seem to have any settled weather lately. There's a guy opposite casting out, and I assume it's, I don't understand all this modern carp fishing, but he was casting out some great object and then pulling it straight back in and then casting it out again, so I assume it's some form of bait dropper or something. But it strikes me today, the carp aren't going to be wanting lots to eat. As I say, the one I caught took a single grain of corn, and in fact I've only I got down just before I switched on the video and sort of tickled that carp. It's been sitting there for a couple of hours. It obviously was quite exhausted, and I was starting to get a bit worried about it, but I just gradually sort of stroked it, and I think it almost, if fish do go to sleep, I think it had almost gone into a sort of a semi-hibernation sleep. But anyway, it moved off, but not quickly. It just sort of casually went a bit deeper into the water, so I think it'd be alright. I think it had given its all, and I had to wait until it was almost finished before I tried to net it. So anyway, I thought we may see a bite when I saw the float move a little while ago, and I was hoping while you're watching you would actually see the float fly away, but I'm not sure that's going to happen now. But at least the breeze has dropped. The sun now is behind the clouds, so let's hope you're getting a better view of this, because earlier on the sun was right in my face, and I was a bit worried how the video camera would react to that. Well, it's now 2:10 and things have gone decidedly quiet. I've put on a bit bigger piece of cheese paste to see if that produces anything. And I just noticed in these reeds to the left there was some movement, and it's not a bird, so I guess there are perhaps some fish moving around in the reeds there. It's interesting, the lady just came to check my ticket. In fact, the shop's closed today, so what you do is you pay your money and you write a little note out and you put it in a box, and so I only had to tell her my name really. But anyway, she just came round and just talking to her, and she said the people on the opposite bank, there were 3 or 4 over there, haven't caught a thing. And she said it's also quite chilly over there. It's quite an exposed bank. So my little cubbyhole here, in between the reeds, it is really, really pleasant. I mean, say the breeze has got up a bit, and it's making it trickier. It's not too bad at the moment, but a little while ago it was difficult to see the float. And I probably won't stay a great deal longer. I sort of set 3 o'clock for my packing up time. I tend not to fish long days these days because I only suffer afterwards with backache and God knows what else. So I may only stay to about 3 o'clock, because I say it's just gone 2 now. I'm leaving that bit of cheese paste there undisturbed. I'm not recasting, because if there is anything sort of going along that reed bank there looking around, you never know. Well, I'm in a bit of a mess here. I forgot I'd left the ratchet off my centre pin reel. And the float went away and I struck, and of course all that happened was the fish just kept running because the reel was spinning like mad, and it's now in a tangle. So I can't reel in, so this is all... It's absolutely a miracle I've got this fish as far as I have, because it went screaming down the left there and got itself embedded in the reeds, and despite this light tackle I've managed to get it out, and despite the fact I can't actually use the reel at the moment. I'm hand lining it. I've managed to get it this far. So it's all a bit of an absolute disaster, really. Teach me a lesson. I should have put the check back on, but I haven't been centre pinning for a while, and of course you get out of practice. But as I say, I don't deserve this fish because, quite frankly, the fact I got it out of the reeds was nothing short of a miracle. It's not a big fish, fortunately. But what a mess. Look at that reel. Line everywhere. Hi, 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 hi. Oh Christ, I've got... This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. It's probably only about £3 or something, fortunately, because otherwise if it had been any bigger I would have lost all my tackle and everything. No, it's oh, no. Jesus Christ. What a mess. What a mess. Seen the net and it's got a new lease of life. Well, that fish, I really didn't deserve that. I'll knock my chair over now. Jesus, what a performance. As I say, it's not a big fish, fortunately. Got the line everywhere. Let's put this rod up here out of the way. Right, sort this mess out. Oh, Jesus. This is an absolute nightmare. I think the hook may have already come out. What's happened here? seems to have gone through. Right, okay. There we go. Right, we've got you. Seems to have broken me. Right. As I say, not a bad fish, but an absolute disaster landing it. Right, we'll put you back in because you've suffered enough indignity already. Let's, there you go. Well, that last fish was an absolute disaster. The bird's nest around my reel was something to see, I tell you. I just spent 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, trying to untangle it and gave up in the end. So I had to cut the line and do a blood knot in it, so that's not very clever. So this is my last cast. I'm just having one more cast, and this video really is the sign-off video because I said I was going to pack up at 3. Well, it's almost 3 already, but most of the time I've spent untangling the reel. It teaches me a lesson. I should have left a check on, but there we go. Anyway, so as I say, this is basically the sign-off video. Oh, would you believe it? Sign-off video, and I get a fish straight away. Oh, yeah. You would not believe it, would you? You would not credit it, would you? You would not credit it. I only cast in just to sign off. I didn't expect to get a fish, but here we go. That's fishing. I've got a knot in my line, so let's just fingers crossed everything holds together. I don't know what this is. It's behaving very strange for a carp. It'll probably wake up in a minute, but at the moment it's sort of just poodling around just in front of me. So I assume it's a carp. Let's have a look, see if we can get it up to the top. Yeah, oh my god, it's quite a big carp actually. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh well, can't complain. It's not really fighting very hard anymore. I think they're half asleep at this time of year, to be honest. But now I've hooked him, I've got to get him in. I literally just cast in there, and I was going to just sign off, say thank you for watching and all the usual stuff, and it had only been there 30 seconds and whack, straight away, no messing. Anyway, I'm going to have to take my time with this, because although it's half asleep, it's still a big lump. Still a big lump. I'm definitely packing up after this because it's starting to cloud over, and as I say, I really need to redo all the line on this reel, because I don't like fishing a float rod with a knot in the line, because it goes up through the eyes and it's never clever. But the option was to re-tackle completely, and as I was almost on the last knockings, I decided I couldn't be bothered to do that. So, as I say, I just did a blood knot, and bingo. I think this is although he's right in front of me and not really making too much fuss at the moment, I think it's going to take a while to get in, because He's quite a big fish. I can't muscle him in. Aye, 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 aye. He's having a bit of a go now. Probably with his light tackle, he didn't realise he'd been hooked at first. Jeez. This has turned out a funny old day. Come out to fish for roach. Politely ask the carp to keep away. Instead the roach keep away. And I ended up, I think, getting more carp than anyone else on the lake, which is a bit bizarre because the guys over there are fishing for carp. It sounds like someone's got one over there. Someone just shouted out how much and he said 11. So, yeah, this is quite a decent fish, really. Chances are the hook will come out if I'm not careful, because it's only a tiny hook. Got to try and get him in this net as soon as I can, really. Yeah, they need a bit of sleep at this time of year, aren't they? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, that was lucky. I could have lost him there. Right, said Fred. Yeah, that's a fairly weighty fish. Jeez. If I'd come out fishing for carp, I wouldn't have actually caught any. Now look at that, it's just literally in the edge of the lip. Right in the edge. Jesus. Lucky, oh lucky, oh lucky. Right, so remember from last time that the net weighs 1.5 pounds. So let's see what this baby weighs. And then I'm definitely packing up. Probably a few more down there if I wanted them, but got the line caught up in the scales now. It's one of those days, I think. So that's gone to 11. God, jeez. About 11 and a quarter, I say. 11 and a quarter. So that's 10 and a quarter. Take off a half. 9 3/4 again, isn't it? 9 3/4. Okay. Oh, nice fish, huh? Nice fish. bit like the other one, it's not in a hurry to go away. Anyway, that is definitely it for today. I said I was going to pack up at 3 o'clock, and it's now just gone 3 o'clock. As I was going to say before that little episode, thank you for watching, and it's bye for now.